What's up, y'all? It's your boy Sean P back again with another edition of Hip Hop Roundtable Reviews. I'm here with my homie Ansem from BLG, aka Bootleg Gang, tonight. And
What's going on, everybody? Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, hype the video. Hey, before we go any further, who made the new Hip Hop Roundtable Reviews logo?
oh, I did that. AI man,
Okay.
AI logo.
All right. Well, shout out to Sean to making the new logo.
No
That's what's
doubt. I'm gonna
up.
try and get that on screen too. Yeah, I gotta figure out a way to do that.
You may have to start off with like putting it in the putting us to the side and just putting it in the big right like you
we
normally do
may
at
have
the
to.
beginning,
We may
and
have to,
then
but
zoom into us after.
yeah, I'll find a way to dress it up.
If you
And
need a theme song, I got some instrumentals for you.
yeah, I could actually ask Reese for beats for that.
Oh yeah,
He
Reese do
makes
make beats
beats.
too.
Yeah. So anyway, y'all, welcome to y'all tonight to another edition of Hip Hop Roundtable Reviews.
Yep.
And off of my Jay-Z review this past weekend of Reasonable Doubt. Also, Ansem, yeah, just to interrupt, I want to get your thoughts on Reasonable Doubt towards the end. We'll probably talk about that in a 30th anniversary and where you think it stacks up in hip hop history. Um,
Is the
but
playlist the same or are there bonus tracks that I don't know?
we could talk about all of it. Bonus
Okay.
tracks, all of that. We could talk
All
about
right.
all of that because I did a review this weekend on Jay-Z's 30th anniversary of Reasonable Doubt. Definitely check that out and check that video out. I really did an in-depth review about that. But off of that topic, tonight we're gonna stay with Jay-Z. Um,
Mhm.
Jay-Z this year has made a lot of noise with the 30th anniversary of the start of his career with Reasonable Doubt. I mean, he did the Roots Picnic. You know, he had that freestyle that had everybody buzzing at the beginning of the summer.
That Roots picnic going to age so well as time goes on, since that's going to be the one time we see Jay Z trying to rap like common sense in the stage. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh yeah, oh
that's
yeah. That,
definitely
that
memorable.
freestyle is gonna go down and be legendary. It will be a legendary freestyle.
And that would forever be a punchline, like his most memorable punchline to me, because I'm a Common fan. Truthfully, I want to rhyme like common sense.
Yeah,
If you go
I
to my
mean,
profile, you see Talib Kweli and Jay Z and Jay Chappelle, and on the top left it says "If skill so, truth be told." Dot dot dot, and you see Talib Kweli smiling next to Jay Z.
that's right. Um, a Roots Picnic freestyle, then the sold out Yankee Stadium shows. Two of the biggest moments this year in hip hop. You know what I mean? Which is three legendary shows in Yankee Stadium. Then, of course, you know he's adding the shows on in Europe. He's doing two London shows, shows in Paris, and of course the LA shows in
That's so hard.
October. Possible Super Bowl that's out there, which I believe he's going to do it, and the buzz for a new Jay Z album. And that's where we're at right now. There's a lot of talk in the air, heavy talk in the air for a new Jay Z album. However, the one thing that I will say is that Jay Z, he is facing pushback. This is the most like kind of this is the biggest time I think in Jay Z's life he's had like a little bit of backlash coming, and it's not all his fault. You know what I mean? Because Jay Z has done nothing from stepping outside the booth in the last couple of years.
You
But
know the era that we in right now. What have you done for me lately? When
yeah,
it comes to these young people and it comes to their streaming, because you can't stream the Roots freestyle, you can't stream their performance in
yeah,
Spotify. Well, YouTube if you count that as streaming. But yeah,
it's
across.
streaming. It's streaming and it's other things. I mean, because I mean you got to think. I mean, there. I mean, just this summer there was the Target deal, you know, with the boycott and everything. There was the Target freestyle that got some controversy because he allegedly dissed Kaepernick, which I don't think he really did. But I mean, there's all the internet propaganda, which it alludes to the young people with, you know, the Rock Nation hate that they get from various pundits like DJ Academics and that whole camp and that whole Drake side of the propaganda artists out there in hip hop media. And of course, there's the young fans who younger hip hop fans are detached from the legacy of the 90s and the 2000s when Jay was in his
Mm-hmm.
heyday. So it's there is some question out there about Jay-Z, how Jay-Z is going to look in 2026.
Or
So
2027.
oh, 2027. That's right. 2026 to 2027. So what we're gonna do tonight, we're really gonna talk about how will a Jay-Z album be received um in this year, 2026, 2027. And we're gonna start with an interesting take from Rory and Maul, particularly Maul, who's been under some controversy as to, a guy who is a converted, Drake diehard from a Jay-Z diehard now. And, he's been under scrutiny for not attending the Jay-Z Yankee Stadium show and all of that. But
Miles said that Black Thought is not a better lyricist than Drake. That's all I need to hear right there.
did he
But
really
keep it
say
going.
that? I never knew that.
Yes. He
Oh my
said
god.
Black Thought is not a better lyricist than Drake.
Well, that just goes to show you the level of pandering that some of these hip hop media artists are doing these days. So I'll just leave it at that. But um, he had an interesting take about Jay-Z's. And it's interesting. Drake is going to be in this conversation as well. And I want to get your take on it. I want to get, there's several things I want to talk about with this. We're going to stop and start like we usually do.
All
But
right.
I do think it's interesting that he brings some of these points up. So we're going to start with this. Hold on. Let me get down to it and start it up. Um, Wait, is this the one that I got? All right, here we go.
When I say when Bleak was here saying that I didn't want to J out, meaning that I don't know, man, because again, I feel like if Jay puts an album out now, one, I don't know because everybody attaches, success to how well did it stream, where did it chart, how long did it stay there, this, that, and the third. Like, I just think that there are more people waiting to kind of like take away from Jay's legacy than to add to Jay's legacy at this point.
But I just don't even care. Like, I have no idea what 444 did in its first.
I don't either.
I don't even. I don't
I'm just
know.
saying, but now, today, more than ever, everybody is so fixated on that aspect of things and not the music, not how well does it sound, how well does it, like live and things like
But
that.
Jay doesn't have to think.
All right, I want to stop it there. There's a couple of things I want to get to that point. First of all, he brings up streaming before we get to the Jay-Z side of it. But I got to get your take on it and some.
I kind of said it earlier about the streaming. Look, the young people going to focus on streaming more than anything.
But
Even if it's a
does
better product.
streaming what? Well, I want to on that streaming aspect, and they bring it up towards the end about Rick Ross and everything.
You know what it is, though?
What is it? But let me ask you a question though.
Okay.
What is a flop today? Because streaming, I'll put it to you like this. I've said this in previous podcasts. Streaming numbers and big streaming numbers are like, I don't know if you're a baseball fan, but in baseball, there was this big era from like, I would say the late 80s to like the mid 2000s called the steroid era. And that's what I kind of equate streaming to is
It's definitely
like,
the steroid era.
yeah,
know
it's the
why?
steroid era in baseball. And for these guys that get these big, huge streaming numbers, 1 billion, 2 billion streams and all of this,
But
which
you know why?
they're really only, but let me finish here. They're really only, I would say, no more than about, I'm being generous in saying 15 hip hop artists that can generate those kind of streams. Okay. Outside of them, everybody's really not streaming a lot of money. And the majority of those artists are big label artists that have a production budget and a budget from the major labels, where the major labels, those artists have a budget where they have to stream those numbers or else. Like they make sure they hit those streaming numbers and get on the major playlists, on the Spotify's and all of that. So they get more plays and exposure because they're those artists and they're not really great. So it's like, what are we really comparing with streaming today? I just got to get your take about that.
But you want to know why streaming is steroids?
Yeah.
Because haters don't buy albums.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two, of course, the streaming translate the album sales. But of course, the translating the album sales is not the same as the actual albums that are being sold. While our era is thinking about who are going to buy those Jay-Z CDs or records from Target while Target is going on, a hater can listen to Reasonable Doubt and critique it. It still counts as a play.
Yeah.
Now imagine the number of people who don't like Jay-Z, but will still play Reasonable Doubt just to find something wrong with it. It still counts as a play.
That's true. And you got to get 1,500 plays to get one album sale.
And by the time it's the 2000s, if you hated a certain artist, it wasn't 100% chance you were downloading it. Most likely, if you were downloading music, it's because you wanted to hear the music. Whether you wanted to buy it or not, that's a different thing. But if you're really a hater of that rapper, you wasn't trying to search and download the music. Streaming is so easy to get.
Not to get off topic, like especially in the early 2000s, that's why to me that was the true, even though I didn't really believe in sales back then, but that was a true indicator, because not only did you have to get the whole CD or download the whole album, you had bootlegging going on at that time too, where you could get the thing and get it burnt. And so you had and you had Napster and all of that time, you know, back in the early 2000s, where if you sold 1 million records, that was a real million records. Like today, when you stream, all you need is really 4 or 5 really big records that get a lot of play and maybe a lot of play on TikTok with the viral dance trend or something, and you could go platinum. You could literally have 5 out of 20 songs, and all the other 15 songs are trash, and have 5 hot songs and go platinum. So
that's why Cardi B's last album, technically went platinum to double platinum before it was even released.
Yes,
because she decided to put WAP on the album.
Absolutely.
Now that people are saying that, then you, of course. What did I miss? Of course, he's going to put that on Iceman. Whatever reviews got last year is going to count towards that album. You know what I'm saying? That's why that's why I kind of expected G and X Deluxe that have not like us. So that those sales could be included for that album as well. But obviously, we're not getting a G and X.
That's an interesting point.
Kendrick is writing half a Casino right now. So you know what I mean? So
that's an interesting point, because but just on the streaming thing, and I get it, because if you're the young kids, that's how they judge, you know, how things are hot, because they really don't listen to the radio anymore. Radio has set playlists anyway. They listen to YouTube and all of that. But see, then they could listen to hip hop media, and hip hop media will tell you who to listen to. That's why it's to me, it's so convoluted. If, you know, an artist might sell, and I'm going to go to first week streams, if you sell 50, 60, 70,000 streams in 1 week, and you sell 400,000 in 1 week, that's not an indicator of anything anymore. Like, to me, T.I. put out a strong project. And by the way, his first single off of there just went platinum, you know? He sold 22,000 the first week off of streaming.
Now, he also sold CDs, and and vinyl. That's the difference.
And on top of that, he's independent too. You know, and to me, I give that more respect than like a Drake Iceman, because Iceman, we knew it was going to do big numbers just because of what was invested into promoting that and the rollout. So I don't know, but maybe I'm getting off tangent. I don't think streams really matter. But back to the Jay-Z conversation and what Rory and Maul is talking about, he's afraid that a new Jay project is going to get looped into the modern day streaming rollout comparison.
And
And
that's why people is going to call it a flop. Because going back to your question, a flop
yeah,
is basically if you sold less than your last album.
yeah. And
So
see,
if
that's the
they
thing.
don't get the physical copy sales
Yeah,
or the equivalent of streaming, which is a whole lot of streams, by the way,
yeah.
people are going to call this a flop.
And that's the thing. Like, and here's the thing: 444, I think, sold 250,000 the first week, and that was a ghost drop with no promotion. But see, that's the thing. That was 2017. Yeah, that was 2017. Okay.
Sure, was it earlier than that?
Yeah. It's just about 10 years ago. Now, streaming is a lot different today because, I mean, and look, a lot of these artists, and yes, a lot of the down south and the trap artists, they do buy streams. I mean, that's the thing. And they don't care about it. You know what I mean? Like, but this is my opinion. Somebody like a Jay-Z,
Yeah.
he's above the streaming critique. If he sells, let's say Jay-Z does 250K in 1 week or 150K, maybe kind of low. If it's classic material or classic Jay-Z and he's got a big record or big records on the radio, I'm like, okay, what's the big deal? This is what Jay-Z should be doing.
I even go further than this. If his next album, he picks the right producers,
Which we'll get to a little bit later. Yeah.
if he picks the right producers, then we're going to have the talk of, is it really because the album is good or is it because he's popular and everybody wants to talk about the album?
People are
We're
going to
get that
find a way.
conversation.
Yeah, people are going to find a way to hate on it, man. You know what I mean? But yeah, but let's talk a little bit more about this, and we're gonna pick up when we get to the Ray Daniels video that I'm about to show about the streaming comparison. But it's a good point.
Think about that.
No, he's not thinking about
But
that.
that's why I would like an album from him, because who cares, and I don't think he gives a fuck.
No, I know he doesn't care about that. I'm just saying, just the void, the opinion of the public. It's like it's almost like they're waiting to say, you know, Father Time caught up with you finally. Like, get out of here. This is trash.
And another thing too, before we get to the next point, Maul is a little bit of a fraud too. He's a fraud because he's supposed to be a true Jay fan. I mean, Kareem Biggs is his cousin. All right.
Let me ask you this question.
So
Did he say
wait.
anything about Nas?
I got to expose how he's a fraud. If
I know that.
Jay is truly your GOAT, and Maul said he's truly your GOAT, you should be the first one out there and saying, like, look, I know Jay may only stream so much, or it might not do what Iceman did or whatever, but I'm here for it. I love Jay. I mean, because listen, I don't care what Nas streams. Nas streamed 20,000 on light years. But I don't care. I want to listen to Nas and I want to listen to the greatness with him and Primo. So why are you out here putting it out there? I don't want to hear a J album because I'm afraid it's not going to stream a certain number. That's a real lame excuse, dog. That's a lame excuse for a true hip hop fan.
He a streaming fan.
You're right. Well, now he is.
We got ringtone. Remember, we had ringtone fans, people that really didn't like the music, but they just liked the music playing and a snippet out their phone. Those are the ringtone fans. Like, I still have ringtones. I didn't have ringtones because everybody else was doing it. I had ringtones before Soldier Boy.
You're taking it, boy. You're taking it back, man.
Like, I got Currency and Larry June as my ringtones right now. Like, come on. Go ahead.
But what you think about that? I mean, don't you think he's a fraud for saying that?
I mean, my thing is this: was you talking like this when it came to Nas? Because Nas hasn't sold 100,000 of any of those Hit Boy albums, but people talked about him. So obviously,
and he won a Grammy.
Exactly. The streams don't mean shit when it comes to these artists. You know what I'm saying? Now people gonna say, "Well, Jay-Z will have to stick to that older era." Let him stick to the older era. That's why he put out Reasonable Doubt at Target.
Exactly right. And we're gonna get to that a little bit later because we gotta. We'll talk about like what a J album will sound like. But let's go
Like
on.
now, think about it. He kind of likes being the bad guy right now because he really did choose Target.
That's right. That's right. But even though I think I think the Target thing's a bit overblown. That's another argument for another day. I understand
Yeah.
that. But Jay-Z is Jay-Z. He can do what the fuck he wants. I mean, so it is what it is. But let's go on with the content.
Like people are almost waiting for that moment. You get what I'm saying? Like that's what it feels like. Whereas now it's like, okay, 30 years of Reasonable Doubt, Blueprint, 25 years, you give them those moments, sold out 3 nights at Yankee Stadium. Like, to me, it's like, boom, let that stay there. Now you introduce a new body of music and for things for people to kind of say, oh, again, the nitpicking, he sounds old, he sounds outdated, he doesn't, you know what I'm saying, nobody wants to hear the same old flow. We heard this type of song already, da-da-da-da. Like, I just feel like there's more people like that waiting to have those opinions than to say, damn, still sounds great. This is a different sound for Jay. Love that he tried this. Da 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 da. To me, that's what I'm leaning more towards. I just feel like there's way too many people waiting to have that moment to judge and say, yo, there's no, he's too old for this genre now. Like he's officially outdated. Like that's how.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it there because we're gonna bring up this topic right here. Are people waiting for Jay-Z to fail? What do you think about his commentary there? And the more I hear about it, Maul is being more of a fraud every word that he talks in this video. I'll explain in a minute.
Is he waiting for Jay-Z to fail? Should be the better question.
That's a good question. Yeah, right. That's
Because it's
exactly what
like,
I'm thinking.
I mean, people gonna bring up the South don't respect Jay-Z like y'all thought he would. He ain't selling like that down here. Doesn't matter. People still call T.I. the Jay-Z of the South. So people down there listen to Jay-Z for something. I mean, Boosie just dissed Jay-Z
Yeah.
on one of his recent songs. I don't even want to. I heard like a snippet. That shit was ass. I'm sorry, Charlotte. I'm not a Boosie fan. But yo, man, like Jay-Z's still relevant to this day, man. We got Boosie dissing Jay-Z right now. Like, what are we talking about? Of course, people waiting for it.
He wants to bring up. He wants to bring up that case with the so-called son or whatever that's been hounding him for like 20 years now. It's like, good God, man, come on! Out of all the things, that's what you choose to rap about on Jay-Z.
Yeah, go ahead and press the play button.
Nah, but I'll stay on this for a minute with the people waiting for Jay-Z to fail. I do think there is a crowd out there, especially the hip hop media propaganda artists out there that are looking for Jay-Z or looking for a reason to cut down Jay-Z. I mean, of course, it's DJ Academics who says openly, he's openly running a smear campaign on Rock Nation saying, I want the rock to crumble. He's come on stream and saying, look, me and Grand Wizard, we're going to keep running smear posts on Jay-Z till the cows come home. So there are obviously people out there that want to see this. Indirectly,
we see where Aiden Rice. Now we see where Aiden Ross gets his style.
Aiden Ross, yeah. I don't think
what Academics doing right now to Jay. And
I don't think that I don't think the streamer generation respects Jay. The streamer generation obviously has chosen their representative, and that's Drake. And Drake is speaking directly to that generation now. But the thing about it is that with Jay-Z, they don't relate to Jay-Z and they don't relate to that music. I've seen posts online saying Jay-Z doesn't do any melodies. Like, how could you listen to this man? He doesn't do a double time flow all the time. He raps slow. He does this. I see the nitpicking that Maul is talking about. But now listening to Maul, it's almost like Maul is talking through the eyes of a Drake fan. I could just see what he's saying now. Like Maul is like, I'm pretending to be a Drake fan as to when Jay-Z comes out as to what I'm gonna say. And that's where I think he's being fraudulent again, because Maul's supposed to be a whole fan. You know what I mean? And Rory's giving him pushback on this. But I do think there's a faction out there of people that are waiting for him to fail. But do you think that's going to be a factor? Because it sure enough wasn't a factor with the Yankee Stadium shows. That's for sure.
Yeah, and the reason why it won't be a factor is because they're not hip hop. Anyone that says
Yes.
that I don't like, matter of fact, I'm gonna bring this up. There's a producer, not a producer. There's a DJ. They used to DJ for 6ix9ine. Matter of fact, he was the one that helped 6ix9ine become popular. His name is Punch, but it's PV and CH from New York. I see him do an interview with Lord Jamar, and he was trying to put Lord Jamar like all the new rappers and why Lord Jamar should give those rappers a chance. But of course, the only rapper that Lord Jamar messed with was Stove God Cooks when he was Aaron Cooks.
Yeah.
But he still thought like the rest of those rappers were trash. With that being said, there was someone put in some video saying, who is the best, Drake or Jay-Z? Now, somebody told me he never said who was the best rapper, Drake or Jay-Z. I said it doesn't matter because Punch clearly says, I know my rap music. So I clearly know what I'm talking about. And then all of a sudden you say Drake is better because of stuff that has nothing to do with rap.
You don't know your rap music, bro. You just want to validate yourself to like your opinion about Drake, dude.
And this is why it's a hilarious comparison, because you better off comparing Nelly to Drake. They both rap, they both sing, they do that type of popularity style. You can't compare Jay-Z, who is still a traditional rapper, just happens to be in a pop atmosphere. And a lot of people say Beyonce is one of the reasons, but he was up before Beyonce was. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, we're going to hear that as well. Is Beyonce not going to be on the album? You know it's going to be trash. Like, nigga, why are you thinking about Beyonce? You're not a hip hop fan.
What people don't realize is, Beyonce really didn't blow up until she married Jay-Z too. You know what I'm saying?
She was Destiny's Child. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but the thing is, like, not for nothing, like her superstardom didn't really come until around the time they got married, and that was like 2004, 2005. Because when Crazy in Love came out, like Beyonce was still big or whatever, but I mean, I remember that time period. That was that time period where it was still all right. Beyonce, Ashanti, I remember A. Marie was in conversations. There was like a competition going on. But Beyonce didn't become Beyonce until she was Mrs. Carter. Let's not make no mistake about it. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying that Beyonce wouldn't have become a superstar, but you can't just make it out like, oh, well, Jay's only there because Jay was the number one rapper in the game before he married Beyonce.
And you know the funny thing is, we see all these young people making videos talking about when was Jay-Z number one rapper in the game? This year, this rapper sold more. That year, that rapper sold more. All you're thinking about is selling more. For 2001, I tell everybody, anyone that says that Jay-Z and or Nas is not the rapper of 2001, I can't take you serious, because you're going to use sales as a reason to say Ludacris is, when Ludacris don't even think he's above Jay or Nas. Like,
what's crazy? I remember that debate. We actually brought it up when we did remember when we did the best of the 2000s and the best rappers of the 2000s and 90s, the top 5.
Yeah, and I said that 2001 was the year of Jay-Z and Nas.
I actually was debating a dude. I was debating some dude in one of those hip hop groups, and he tried to tell me in 2001, in 2000 and 2001, it wasn't Jay-Z, it was Ludacris and Eminem. And I'm like, bro, where are you from? And he said he was from like Ohio or some shit like that. I was like, let me ask you something, bro. Were you really listening to Eminem back then? when Eminem was. I mean, listen, and I'm an Eminem fan, but Eminem back in even the Marshall Mathers days
which
was
was
known.
2002, correct?
No, this is 2000.
No.
2000 Eminem.
The Marshall Mathers LP was 2002. Slim Shady was 99.
Slim Shady
2000.
was 99. Marshall Mathers was actually 2000, right? And
Let me check.
in 2000, and Marshall Mathers is classic, but Marshall Mathers did not get any play on Urban Rack Radio. Only one song did. I think if I am who I say I am. That one got played. But outside of that, it didn't get any play. But Jay-Z owned the clubs, Jay-Z owned the streets, Jay-Z owned the radio. And 2000 to 2001, until Ether came, Jay-Z was the undisputed king. I don't know where he got Ludacris from. That was Ludacris's first album.
Because Ludacris did sell high that year. He definitely saw that first album was dope.
But see, this is the thing. This is how you.
This is why I said people are going by sales.
Exactly.
Ludacris
right.
did sell. I think the Ludacris album did sell a little more than Jay-Z did, but it was nowhere near as classic as Stillmatic nor Blueprint.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And my thing is,
we at the point now, and keep in mind, I'm a Ludacris fan, but there's a lot of people in this era that are saying that Ludacris didn't age well, which to me is crazy. But I've heard plenty of people say Ludacris.
But Ludacris at one time, you want to talk about Jay-Z, and not one time did anybody ever say Ludacris was number one in the game. I mean, if we're talking about down south, maybe. But at that time, I mean,
it was him, T.I., and Jeezy. No, him, T.I., and Gucci was all in that bubble, while Outkast was above both of them.
Outkast was definitely 2000 to 2003, and after that, it was Jeezy, T.I., and they took the game to another level. Ludacris was in the mix. But at 2000 to 2002, there was no way Ludacris was the number one dude. And the dude that I was debating with was telling me, well, you know, Area Codes was a big song back then.
It was.
One song.
Nah, it was. And I'm thinking the Eminem show was 2002. So you're right. Eminem show was 2002.
Yeah. Now, Eminem show.
Area Codes was dope, bro.
Now, Eminem
as
show.
As an underground nigga, I mess with Area Code. So don't sleep on Luda. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying 2001 was clearly the year of Jay-Z versus Nas.
Easily, man. I mean, 2002, you could give it to Jay-Z. You could give it to Eminem. You know what I mean? Because that was the first time Eminem finally got respect by the urban community, and that's because of 50 Cent. And that crossover, when they started going on tour, because Eminem got reintroduced once 50 came in the game. But
I gotta take back one thing you said, though.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I bought the Slim Shady LP, I was picked on in Charlotte for buying that album. You buying that white rapper shit. But then the Marshall Mathers LP album, to me, that was the album that niggas respected before Eminem show. I don't know how it was up there.
They respected it. They respected it, but they didn't respect it as the number one rapper in the game. You know, they respected Jay-Z a lot more. But they respected that album because that album aged well. And that's why they respected it, because of the lyrics on there. You know what I mean? But
I got to tell you this. Now I think about it, Eminem may be one of those first rappers where people separated the talent from the music. Because one thing I heard a lot of people down here, like, nobody raps better than Eminem, but I hate his music. I hear that a lot down here.
Uh-huh. Exactly right. And see, the funny thing is people... I mean, it wasn't too long ago. People were saying, you know, Eminem is a guest in the house of hip hop. You know, nobody put that Eminem shit on, all of that. And now people are actually defending Eminem to be better than Jay-Z because they don't want Jay-Z to get credit. That's why, like, this thing about wanting people waiting for Jay-Z to fail, that's a real thing. That's a real thing. If you go from now Eminem is your king to he doesn't belong being played anywhere. You know what I mean? That's where you could see the inconsistency and the bias right there.
I can't see if Jay-Z puts out an album and everybody say Eminem is better than Jay-Z. as long as he picked the right producers, I can't see that.
No,
The only way I can see that is if Jay-Z picked Eminem type of beats.
listen, I'm an Eminem fan, and he's not better than Jay-Z. He's just not. He's just not. Eminem has his quirks. You know what I mean? He's a great lyricist, and he makes some great emotional songs and inspirational songs, but he's not Jay-Z. Just not.
Matter of fact, before we go any further, someone got mad because I answered this one person's question. I had Eminem's first four albums, first four as in Slim Shady, the Encore, over Drake's first four albums, as in the what is that? The Forget Me Now album, whatever that album is called, up to
Thank Me Later.
Album?
Thank Me Later. Take Care.
Nothing Was the Same. And they included If You're Reading This Is Too Late. Right?
If you're reading this,
they included that, even though that was a mixtape, they included that, but I still had Eminem's first four over Drake's first four. I said the only thing you can debate is the fourth album, but the first three ain't close.
That would be close. That would be close. But I'm giving up to Eminem on that one. I'm giving up to Eminem because
Take Care's on Forget Me Now and Take Care are not better.
Well, Drake doesn't have anything that Drake damn sure Drake doesn't really have anything to top Marshall Mathers, but Drake definitely doesn't have anything to top Eminem show. I know that.
I wouldn't say Drake has any. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even think Drake has anything to top the Slim Shady LP.
I'm not the biggest Slim Shady LP fan, but I think it's a dope album.
I actually like the Slim Shady LP. Well, no, Marshall Mathers had better beats.
Yeah.
But I just happen to like Slim Shady LP like conceptually a little more
than
Marshall Mathers. But Marshall Mathers had better beats.
Oh yeah, I hear that. But anyway, there is a contingent of people waiting for Jay-Z to fail. I do totally agree with that. So Jay-Z is facing a little bit of a current that's going to go against him if he comes out.
But as long as they make him relevant, it's all good, bro.
You're right about that. Let's see what they got to say.
How I feel, and I just don't want to have to sit and sit through that and see that.
But I think that's still that niche part of the internet that we were talking about that was hating on the Yankee Stadium shit, and then you saw how many people were at the Yankee Stadium shit. I do think that's a small.
No, for sure.
It's heightened in one place, which is the timeline, but that is a small group of people when you get in the scope of things when it comes to the amount of people that will actually listen. So,
but even coming off this verse,
but no matter what, okay, this
and you know what? That is a good point. That's the there's the internet and there's real life. You saw that pop up after the Yankee Stadium shows, and it's a good point they bring up. But is that internet crowd that goes against Jay-Z, is that really a small crowd, do you think?
It's not a small crowd for the fact that I dated a girl that did not like a Jay-Z album.
I don't think it's a small crowd. I disagree with Rory on that because
it exists in real life too. Now, real life is not as. Now, would you say in real life is it a small crowd?
Mm-hmm.
I would say medium, but I wouldn't say it's big. It's definitely a community out there.
Well, I put
anti-Jay. And the best part about all this is how are you anti-Jay, but then you speak about the stuff that Jay-Z was rapping about, all about hustling.
Listen,
everybody want to be a hustler. They should be praising Jay-Z.
The thing about it is that if you're under the age of 30, let me go under the age of 25. You got to understand how they consume their media. Their media is YouTube, streaming, streams, like streamer shit, like Kai Cenat and what's his name, Speed and Ben the Don and those guys.
Now stop right there. Talk about their subject matter for the people that you just mentioned. They all mentioned in doing some type of hustling, right?
Yeah.
So why be But
They don't
identify with
identify.
Jay-Z's
Well, they
hustle.
don't identify with that style of hip hop. And see, the
Okay.
thing is, when they go and they promote what they like, and see that streamer era, that streamer content era, is I think anti hip hop and killing mainstream hip hop because people are listening to less and less music, and they're listening to what the streamers tell them. Like they wait till Kai Cenat tells them, listen to Drake, listen to Kendrick Lamar. They wait for a cosign to listen to it.
You know
So
what? I saw Casa Knight watch the So Be It video. He barely reacted to that video.
yeah,
But when the song was home, he said song fire. But he didn't was like all hype about it. He just said song fire.
but he'll get hype on some Drake shit. You see what I mean? And that's the reason why this community, this is a sizable community. But see, when you see Jay-Z sell out 80,000 people, 80,000 person stadium in Paris, you're going to forget this it even existed. You're like, internet, what's that? You know, because that has more weight over these internet streamers. But it does create a dynamic where you can really say, look, it's really going to be a competition out there between various audiences who are going to be pro J and anti J. This is going to be interesting. You know what I mean?
You know who kind of predicted this to a certain extent?
Who's that?
Tupac. I
Oh
remember
yeah,
it was a Tupac interview where he's talking about in the future, you're gonna hear a lot more keyboard sounds, you're gonna hear a lot more melodies and harmonies and stuff like that. Like
yeah.
he low key predicted that, but I don't think he predicted it to go this direction because you would have thought a lot of Pac's music was a lot of original music. A lot of a good amount of his music was heavily sampled too,
That's right.
but it was
man.
the subject matter. Now we're not thinking about subject matter; we're thinking about strictly sonically, to where you're not doing melodies.
They're just thinking about vibe. They're just thinking about vibe. So
And the
for
messed up
those
part
type
is, if
of
you're going to talk
artists,
like that, you might as well say Bone Plugs and Harmonies your Run DMC, or Domino is your Curtis Blow. But y'all don't
but
even
they don't even
acknowledge
look at
them.
that because they don't even know those artists exist. They only know the artists exist from 2010 on. You see what I'm saying?
You know what it is?
Yeah.
And I think someone told me this.
Mm.
She said, I look at I'm Serious the way you look at Illmatic. And I'm talking
Yeah.
about T.I. So
Yeah.
we could be in an era to where a lot of these younger people, they may be looking at T.I. first three albums like we looked at Nas's first three albums.
Some people, well, I think they do that with Drake. I think they to them
Like Drake is their 50 Cent.
like
Because
listen,
50 blew up in our 2000s, but he wasn't
I
big
think
in the
it's bigger
90s.
than that. I think Drake is, for all intents and purposes, their Jay-Z. Like they talk about it, they talk about
That's weird because Jay-Z don't sing. That's why I said
certain people look at Take Care like it was Blueprint or Reasonable Doubt. Like no bullshit. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I lived that era. I lived when I was like one of the first ones to get Take Care. And compared to everything else, Take Care is dope, but there's no way it's that level of hip hop.
I
You
mean, let's keep it real. 25% of Take Care is not hip hop. So how can you be
25
comparing that to a Reasonable Doubt?
and 50% of that album is written by The Weeknd, by the way. So that's the other thing, man. Oh man.
That's what I was saying. Get Rich or Die Trying, because 50 was melodic, but it was like melodic and catchy that made everybody want to sing along to it. You know what I'm saying? And Drake carried that style. You could say Nelly also. It's just that, you know what it is? I hate to say Drake pretty much took 50's hustle and Nelly's sound, not sound, but melodies, and took it to another level. He might have did that because he ain't no street rapper at all. And I can't compare him to Nas or Jay-Z. I mean, of course, he's a traditional rapper. Not talking about the singer. Drake, the rapper, is technically a traditional rapper, but it just so
Yeah,
happens that he does way more to where he will do modern rapping. And when I say modern rapping, I'm talking about your Future, your Young Thug. You know what I'm saying?
that's right.
You're
That's a
gonna,
good point, man.
and
That's
then
a
he
good
does
point.
your pop because now people compare him to Chris Brown, who's an R&B artist. Like
But see that's where the generation gap lies. Is that that's not really hip hop. That's music. That's
it's definitely music,
versatility, but that's not
but it's
real
not
hip
all
hop.
hip hop. It's hip hop and pop music and R and
But they
B.
look
Like
at it like
Jay
they
Z
look
does
at
not. The closest Jay Z
those
did to R and B
kids.
was the R Kelly album, and it wasn't even him singing. It was R
Those
Kelly singing.
kids look at it like this is our hip hop because other people tell us it's our hip hop. And that's the fucked up shit about it. Cause they don't listen. They don't listen to. I could get off tangent with this. Like I could really go in a different
I
direction.
can't even agree with you on that. I feel like these people are talking what the younger people are saying. I think it's more the other way around.
Yeah. But well, I'll tell you one thing. The one thing in watching this video, Maul is definitely. You know what I think? Why Maul doesn't want to see this album come out is because he's going to have to defend Drake because he's such a Drake, you know, D rider. You know what I'm talking about. That he doesn't want to have to give an honest critique on the new J album because if he says anything nice about it, he's gonna offend Drake and the Drake fan base. That's his real agenda here. This is total agenda from this dude. Total
First,
agenda.
objectively, if somebody was like, I don't like this, I wouldn't argue with them.
Right.
But there's also the side, let's say Hove put out his 2026 version of Blueprint. And by that, I mean an undeniable classic. Not that sounds like Blueprint, but like, oh, this is
incredible.
This is nuts.
Right.
Those same people are still waiting for the same thing and they're going to do the same thing and hate it.
Yeah.
It's not going to
That is
change
true.
So
no
you
matter
saying
what.
fuck it, let's get the music no matter what.
If Jay has something to say,
Right.
that's where I'm at with it. If he has something to say, then I'm cool. I would like to hear it because no matter what, good or bad, that's what people are going to go with.
Yeah, it could be
And-
the greatest thing ever.
But that's kind of what he was addressing on the end of this verse.
Exactly.
He was like,
yeah.
y'all twits still gonna be tweeting. This is what we doing. He's talking
Right.
about, I'm enjoying my life with my wife.
Right.
So if we on that type of vibe for the album and it's Hove, then I would love to hear it. Of course, people are gonna say that.
Yeah.
That doesn't change much at all. They're gonna say it flopped regardless. If he doesn't outsell GNX,
a good
Iceman,
point.
or Fall Off, it's gonna be a flop.
Collectively. He has to-
Collectively, it's crazy.
he has to sell more than them collectively. Yeah.
Because that's now the standard. Well, actually, I don't even know what the standard is.
Yeah.
Because even when Kendrick sells well or Drake sells well, they're still saying they didn't hit another number they hit before.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
So at what point do we even care? Because who sold this year?
That's a good point. That goes back to the whole streaming debate we were talking about before. I'm gonna end this video because there's another one I want to get to.
All right, cool.
Yeah, but
Everybody, let us know what you think of this video. Once again, like, comment, subscribe. If you agree with me, say what up, Ansem. You agree with Sean?
oh
say
no,
what
we
up,
still
Sean.
we still talking on this right
Oh, I
here.
thought we was
I
about to do a part two.
yeah, I want to. No, we still going on. We still going on this one.
My bad, y'all.
But before we get back to what a new J album will look like, what do you think about that? What they said about Jay-Z has to outdo Kendrick Lamar, Drake, J. Cole in order to do well. Do you really think, and I'll bring it up now,
No.
but is he indirectly competing with Drake? And is he indirectly competing with the big three? Like, does Jay-Z to have success on this album, does he have to outsell, outperform GNX, Iceman, all of that? Do you believe that's a real thing? Because I actually think that's a strong point.
But there's a reason why Jay-Z said wrong chart champ.
Yeah,
That's
you're
why
right.
I don't think Jay cares about that, because they even said it early in the video. We know Jay don't care about that. But we're thinking about the public's perspective. I mean, that's more of a reason why Jay is like, you know what? Let me get the Super Bowl instead of a Grammy or a high-selling album. I mean, once again, Nas ain't even sold J. Cole's worst album the past 5 years, but he definitely made better music than every rapper we mentioned so far.
You know what I think is the crazy thing, and it goes back to the other generation, right? I could see it. I could see a world where Jay puts out a new album. I could see him doing like 200,000 the first week, maybe 150, 200,000, right? But I could see him winning like, I don't know, like 10, like 4 or 5 Grammys off of it. And automatically the young generations are going to say, see, that's what I mean. There it is right there. That means he's a fraud because he's cheating to get those awards. Because Drake, he doesn't submit his awards to Grammys or whatever, or nominations, because Drake said that the Grammys are fake. And we all know Drake did that because he doesn't want to compete against Kendrick Lamar. You see what I'm saying? So automatically they have a narrative made up in their head to make, Drake look lesser than he really is, just because they're used to what a Drake fan base or Drake stands or Drake propaganda artists would tell them. You see what I'm saying? So to us, it don't matter, because if Jay sells 50,000 copies and it's classic, we're going to say, oh, hell yeah. I mean, who gives a damn about Drake? But the public perception is going to be out there, and you're going to see the back and forth. You're going to see that clash online. That's going to be a violent clash.
It's definitely going to go 6 figures for sure. As far as how many, how high, we don't know. But it's clearly going to go 6 figures. I don't see it going any less. Why? Because we're going to see a lot of people react to these albums. So that alone, you're going to get 200 off that alone. A lot of people and their mama are going to react to these albums, whether they like or hate the album. Trust me. We're going to find people who said I'd never done reactions before make reactions to Jay-Z's next album, even if they don't like the album.
Jay-Z's album is going to be the event of the summer. I mean, the event of 2026. I'm just going to let you know right now that Jay-Z's album is going to be the biggest event this year. This is the year of Jay-Z, and people don't want to admit that. And deep down inside, I think the Drake stan base, and I think Drake himself, I think they're insecure about that. That's what I think is going on right now. Why you say this? Why you see this? And you see various pundits come out with these wild claims, the Rock Nation conspiracy and all of these smear campaigns for Rock Nation. There is definitely a play going on because, Drake does not want to see Jay-Z succeed. I think Drake fans are insecure about Jay-Z in the year he's possibly going to have.
The same fans that were happy when they heard that Malice stole the hot dog came to find out when they finally put out the footage, she was saying that's on me. After
that really happened?
Oh no, there's a video where I think this was in Philly, and it's funny. It was either Philly or New Jersey, one of those places, where the female claimed that Malice ordered a certain type of Polish sausage and left without paying, but she left out the parts where she called him Flavor Flav. Number one, to me, that alone, I'm taking all the food.
This is on video.
Yeah,
I gotta see that.
And
I have to watch this.
But no, but then they show Malice outside, and you hear the lady inside saying, "Tell him that's on me," because Malice asked his bodyguard, "Yo, how much did this cost?" He said, "No, we didn't have to pay." She said, "It's on us." She said, "It's on her."
Oh man, I gotta watch.
And they got the footage of that too. Like that's crazy. Like something like that, for example. A lot of people were just like, "See, I told y'all clips with some bum ass niggas." I don't see niggas say that shit.
That's the Drake propaganda, man. Yeah, I gotta play this Ralph Daniels clip right here from our group, Hip Hop Roundtable Reviews. I posted this earlier. Hold on a minute. Let me get the audio up.
Learn from Hove. Hove is not going to put himself out there to be laughed at. It's just, I'm not doing 60,000, y'all. By the way, tell you something that I heard about on the Jay-Z tip. Just a little quick update. His album is done.
Okay.
It's completely done. It's just, we might get it if somebody partners with him. If nobody partners with him, it's not coming.
Wow.
Hey, he is not playing about it. You cannot play about your brand.
You said this like a month ago.
Yeah, you can't. Somebody called and confirmed it from me, so I was like, okay, I just want to reveal it on the team.
He's not going to have.
You heard it here first.
Let's go.
Does first week sales at this point even matter?
I don't think so.
It only matters to the industry and the people that want to laugh at you. If the industry matters, that's the only time. It's nothing.
Because back in the day, if you didn't sell a certain amount, you was dropped immediately.
Nigga, you was they answer your phone.
Hell no. If you didn't do 100,000, you was
done.
That was
You're
the
done.
magic number.
That was the magic number.
You had to be big. It was either you bigger than 100,000 first week or you smaller. It was two ways of measuring.
Yep, that was it. That was it.
Learn.
Okay, so I want to pull that clip out. The reason why I put that out there was a couple of things. Now, Roc Nation came out and basically denied all of those claims right after that Jay-Z's album, no, fake news pretty much, right? But a couple of things, because I do think Ralph McDaniels has a point. First, he says Jay-Z is going to team up with a certain company where he's gonna buy like maybe 500,000 or something, and then have like a deal with them, like, you know, you could get merch if you get the album, kind of like what he did with the Samsung deal with Magna Carta Holy Grail.
Speaking of Magna Carta, did you know at one of the shows they were giving out free cassettes of Magna Carta for like the first handful of people that came to one of those shows?
Yeah. So basically,
that was on cassette.
Check this out. You know who did that? You know Prince did that, right? Before he passed away, Prince did that. Prince, the legend Prince.
Explain.
Okay, Prince, he was he always had label issues. And before he passed away, he got an independent deal.
You're talking about the deal. I got you. Okay.
Yeah. Prince actually gave out free CDs at his concert of his new CD. Like, really, this is before he passed away, obviously, you know. But anyway,
about that.
Yeah, back to what I was saying about Jay-Z. He's basically trying to discredit Jay-Z and say, in order for Jay-Z to sell 500,000, he has to do a deal like this. And it's like a backhanded way of saying Jay-Z can't compete with like a Drake or a Kendrick Lamar or something. But I thought about it, and if Jay-Z was to do that, so what? It's better business for him.
And
you
it's
know,
not the first time either.
Yeah. And I'm like, all right, so what if he does do that? You know? But see, here's the thing. He's trying to put Drake, trying to put Jay in a Drake box where, yeah, we want him to compete against Drake, so he has to sell records. And see, if Jay does a deal, they're automatically going to say, well, Jay cheated to get his stream, so it doesn't count. You know what I mean? So again, this is indirectly like a Drake narrative going on here without people not even knowing it. Like, they're trying to make him compete against the man. You know what I mean? And I look at it like, well, look, if he does that, and if JCD is not really good, people are going to say it's trash because people criticize Magna Carta Holy Grail, you know, with that. So it really doesn't matter either or. But my thing about Ralph McDaniels that I think is true, I think he did get a call from somebody at Roc Nation, but not to say it's done, but to let him know Jay got an album coming. Jay's album's definitely coming this year, man. I think that was the first point that I finally believed, okay, 100%, he's guaranteed to have an album drop this year.
Hey, let's see what happens. Shout out to
We de-
Nas. Shout out to Rakim. Matter of fact, all these young reactors that are reacting to Rakim a different kind, thank you. That's all. That's all that I ask. Like,
I gotta
check
check
out
that new
everything.
song out. I gotta check that new song
It's
out.
my favorite song this year. Put it
I
like
definitely
that.
gotta check that new song. I'm gonna do a review on that too. I gotta do that, man.
And his album is actually a Rakim Corrupt Master Killer album that's coming out late this month. Also, Rhapsody coming out late this month too. I'm curious
Yeah,
about that.
yeah. So we'll do that. Let's get a last point in real quick. But what would a new J album look like? Like, who do you think is gonna produce on there? What
See,
features
that's
you
the
think are
thing.
gonna be on there?
We don't know what we're gonna get for the producers because the last rap album, No ID did the whole project. Is he gonna stick to one producer? I like how you were saying you want the Clips Pharrell
Yes,
to produce this album.
yes. I want to see that.
The
I
Clips version of
absolutely want to
Pharrell.
see that. Yeah. He, and another thing, do you think he's going to diss people on this? Do you think they're going to be shots at Dean Dash, at Drake, at Nicki Minaj, at DJ Academics? He already on the Beyonce remix. Beyonce put out a remix of Donk or something like that. He took shots at social media and Black Twitter and things of that nature. A little bit of a dig because of the Target controversy, I think. A little bit of a back and forth, I think. Do you think he's gonna go back at detractors on this new album?
I don't know. I really don't know what to expect for this next J album. I just hope it's
Yeah.
not a Magna Carta, and I hope it's not a Kingdom Come. That's all I ask.
You
And I
didn't
hope
like
it's
Magna Carta Holy Grail?
that is probably the only Jay Z album where I like the beats more than the rhymes.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really care for him lyrically on that project. And on top of that, Rick Ross had a in too deep like Makai Fife moment.
What was that?
Reeboks, I just do it, nigga.
Yeah. You don't like that song, do you?
I like the beat, but I didn't like how they used the beat.
You know
Also,
what it is? Like,
yeah. No, funny thing is, Kingdom Come would actually be a dope album if you took out like 5 songs. It would have been dope. But those 5 songs, it's like the fall off. Like that, those handful of songs on the fall off kept it from being a 4 mic album. And
that's
it ended
his
up
worst
being
album.
3.5, 3.
I think
Like Kingdom Come was like that. If you took out
Kingdom
5 of those
Come-
songs, it could have easily been a 4 mic album. But instead, you made it a 3.5 album.
Kingdom Come and the 2 R. Kelly albums are his worst projects, I think.
I forgot. I don't include R. Kelly. You know the funny thing is, I'd rather listen to the Beyonce Jay-Z album than the R. Kelly Jay-Z.
Yes. Oh, I totally agree with that. And I'm not. And listen, I'm not a fan of Jay-Z and Beyonce. Just to let you know, I think that they're okay, but believe it or not, I think Jay-Z would make a better album with Alicia Keys. And the real hip hop head and wants me to see Jay-Z and Mary J. Blige, but I think that's never going to happen. But I think they would make a great album.
Jay-Z and Alicia Keys would be dope.
Yeah.
Because that Nas Alicia Keys album was dope. Of course, we already heard the Empire State of New York. Yeah. Jay and Alicia Keys would be dope for real.
That'd be fire. Who do you think would feature on the Jay album?
I'd be surprised if we get a Memphis Bleak hook.
I think he's going to have a lot of features on this album. I think you're going to have I do think Nas is going to be on there. I think you're going to have some of the newer generation rappers on here. I think you may get Weeknd on there.
That's the thing. I don't know what to expect for this album. That's why I'd rather just wait. Because what if he happens to pull the J. Cole or Kendrick card or Freddie Gibbs card? Like, we don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think you're gonna have like the big name producers. I think you might see Hit Boy. You might see.
You know who I think will be on that album? Don't be surprised. Dang, should I say it? don't be surprised if we see a Jay-Z, Fat Joe, and Jadakiss song.
I could see Jadakiss, maybe.
Because they've been trying to get Jay-Z on that show, but I don't think they're going to get on that show unless Jay's going to get on that show unless they are on his album. And they do a special episode just for Jay.
I don't know what other New York artists. I'm gonna go kind of outside of the box. I wouldn't be surprised you see Jay-Z and Cardi B on the album. Believe it or not.
We'll see.
Yeah.
You know what would be crazier? Jay-Z, Cardi B produced by Timbaland. That would be crazy.
Look out for this. Mark my words on this one. There's a New York producer. He's kind of like a drill producer. His name is Cash Cobain. Don't be surprised if he does a Jay-Z record on a new album. The reason why I say that is because Cash Cobain last year came out and said, you know, Jay-Z's got a new album, right? And the new stuff that he's working on sounds incredible, right? Out of nowhere. And it kind of got debunked. Like, what are you talking about? Jay-Z's not coming out or whatever. But how would you know that? Out of all the people, how would Cash Cobain know that? Because obviously you had to have heard something and you're promoting something like you worked on it. Because Cash Cobain and Jay-Z have nothing to do with each other. Yet you're saying, oh, I heard some incredible work by Jay-Z and he's got an album coming out. He's got to know something.
You don't know.
Yeah, so watch out for that. Watch out for Cash Cobain and Jay-Z. Anyway, listen.
When we see Just Blaze. Shoot.
Yes.
We get a Just Blaze track.
Give me back Just Blaze. Why don't you bring back DJ Premier of all people, man? Listen, I listened to, oh yeah, that's what I meant to get to you. Get to ask you, right?
No,
Reasonable Doubt. Yeah, let me pull the banner up. Let me do this right. Yeah, but
I'm gonna be honest with you. I probably the only album I'm gonna compare this new Jay-Z album to is Nas' last 6 albums. I'm only going to compare that. I don't care about the Drake and other shit. I'm only going to compare this to Nas' last 6 albums.
Yeah, but Reasonable Doubt. Like, what's your feeling on that? Where does it stack in hip hop history? And is that one of the greatest? Like, I gotta ask you, like, down south, how did Reasonable Doubt play?
It hit like an underground album, but once you heard Ain't No Nigga, that's when people started listening to Jay-Z.
For the clubs. Yeah, that's pretty much how it was up here, too.
Yeah, to talk about dead presidents, it was like on some underground hip-hop type shit. Even though the video, you know, he was showing up all the glamour and glitz, but it had a cheap scene when that car blew up. That was a very cheap scene, though. But nah, but no, as far as the album, though, it was treated like it was an underground album because a lot of music came out in 9/6, and it was on priority. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I said
against the time because when I heard the re-release, that's when I heard the part 2 of Can I Live. I actually have that version of Reasonable Doubt because the one that I originally bought the tape, but I got stolen. So the version I bought was like the second reissue that had Can I Live Part 2 as the bonus track. That's the one I got.
Yeah, I remember that. See, I started with Jay-Z early. I got the Dead Presidents, the singles version, which was the version in the video. That's my favorite Jay-Z song.
Yeah, part 1. Yeah.
Yeah. That's my favorite Jay-Z song of all time.
Now, I didn't know about I Can't Get With That. And I didn't know about the original In My Lifetime until I met people from up north that went to North Carolina A&T. They put me on to like Jay-Z before then. And then when I like, wait a second, that's the same nigga from Original Flavor. And that's how I put it all together. And that's when I was like, okay, let me go back when I put it together in college.
Yeah. Do you think Reasonable Doubt is what, a top 10, top 15, top 20 album all time?
It was in my top 10 in the 2000s for sure. Is it still in my top 10 now? I gotta redo my top 10 soon, but it definitely is a potential top 10 hip hop album. To me, it may be his only potential top 10 hip hop album because I don't
I
think
can see
Blueprint
that.
is top 10, but Blueprint is a classic album with no doubts. Like I don't see how people say Blueprint is better than Reasonable Doubt. Though
I think
that
it's
I don't
better
get.
than I think it's better. In my opinion, I think it's better than Blueprint. Blueprint's gonna get, you know, Blueprint is kind of like his It Was Written in a way, where, over the years that crowd that became a louder crowd, that It
Yeah,
Was Written was better than Illmatic. But to me, Reasonable Doubt is it. That was the birth of hustler rap. That was the first real hustler music album, not street album music, not street rap, because East Coast street rap started with Cool G Rap. You know what
let
I
me
mean?
ask you this question: did
Yeah.
you see AZ Do or Die and Raekwon Only Built for Cuban Links as hustler rap or street rap?
Street rap.
You saw that as street rap. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, street rap. AZ Do or Die, you could say, was hustler music, but it didn't have the impact and the hit that um that a Reasonable Doubt had. I think Reasonable Doubt, they came out around the same time. Maybe I want to say Reasonable Doubt come out before that.
Like the introduction of
Yeah,
Reasonable Doubt was a Mary J. Blige feature on a filtered beat. And then after that, you got Politics as Usual, which is still relevant to this day.
oh man,
Like that's probably his most relevant song on that album. Because it's still he could still talk about that to this day.
Politics as Usual is like one of my five favorite Jay-Z songs, man, all time.
Brooklyn's Finest, of course, rest in peace, DJ Clark Kent, rest in peace, Biggie. That's a
Yes,
classic. And then, of course, Dead Presidents Part 2 is the song after that. After that, you had Feeling It featuring a female singer named Mecca, but of course, Beyonce did the version at Yankee Stadium.
yeah,
If I'm not mistaken, after that, because I'm trying to remember this album by heart, after that, it's 22 to no, The Evils, the DJ Premier song. I'm
that's
sorry,
probably
Primo.
his greatest
I
lyrical song
apologize.
of all time, man.
And one of Primo's best beats in
Yes,
that
there you
90s too.
go. You got it, man.
After
Yes,
that is
yes, sir.
22 twos, where he flipped the Tribe Called Quest Can I Kick It? And it was on some hip hop shit, but at the same time, hey, we can make it not rap either. You know what I'm saying? That was basically his hip hop moment, but we can make it not rap either. After that, Can I Live? The classic sample that Ashanti used eventually. Yo, Can I Live? I thought Can I Live was a single because I was hearing that on radio late at night. I was hearing that on college radio, but I don't think that ever was a single.
That was an anthem, man. That's some anthem. That's an underrated. That's probably one of his top 15 songs.
Is he the first dude to say I keep one eye open like CBS? I'm trying to think
I
of
think,
someone
yeah.
else say that
Oh
before
yeah,
him.
I think so. Yeah, yeah. I mean, man. I could listen to
After
this
that,
album
friend of
front to
foe.
back to front, man.
Yeah.
This
After
is
that,
that
friend of foe.
friend of foe, the first one. Oh man, and Primo killed that beat too. I
And
would
of
have
course, he
to
made that
say
scene.
this is. I'd have to say if I'm going Chronic, Illmatic, Life After Death, Enter the Woo. What am I leaving out? All Eyes on Me. Oh yeah, It Was Written in there.
But
And I have to
see,
say, Reasonable Doubt is right after In That Zone, right
okay,
about that.
so you put Reasonable under those albums. Now,
Yeah.
see, this is where it can get tricky
Mhm.
because I had Reasonable Doubt in my top 10, and if I'm not mistaken, it was number 8. Albums that I had
I
over
could
it
see
at
that.
that time, I
Yeah.
had Outkast ATLiens over that. I had
Hmm.
Goody Mob Soul Food over that. I had
Hmm.
Illmatic over that. I had
Yeah.
The Infamous over that. I had
Yeah.
A Tribe Called Quest Midnight Marauders over that. And later on, I put Liquid Swords over it. But initially, I had Reasonable Doubt over Liquid Swords. And some people just look at me like, what the fuck are you thinking? And I'm listening to it like, wait a second, Liquid Swords might be better than Cuban Links. So now I'm back and forth between Cuban Links and Liquid Swords. But if it's in my top 10 right now, it's hard because if I had to take that album out and replace it with something else that came out after that, it would be Little Brother the Listening.
You know what? When it comes to the Wu albums, I used to think for the longest Wu-Tang Forever was like the best Wu-Tang album ever, but that didn't age well for some reason. Like there are better Wu albums, like Cuban Links and Enter the Wu are better than Wu-Tang Forever.
You know what I actually like better than Wu-Tang Forever back then?
Yeah.
Killer Army, Silent Weapons for a Quiet War. So that was the better Wu-Tang album.
Not for nothing. I could get into a little story time. Reese, you know Reese, Torture Talk. When we were growing up, he was the biggest Wu head. He was the one that put me on to Killer Army and Shaheem and the Wu Syndicate and all of those.
Yep,
man. Reese's cousin used to play Wu Syndicate all day, every day. Every time in the car, that Wu Syndicate tape was coming on, man.
I was playing Wu Syndicate only because they were from Virginia. So everybody like, you play that up north shit? Like, nah, these are Virginia niggas. They're like, what?
Ask when next time we have Reese on, ask him about the Killer Army and the Wu Syndicate tapes, man. Like
I actually liked not only that, I actually like both of Grave Digger's first two albums and both of Killer Army's first two albums. Now after that, the fall off began. You know what I'm saying?
You know
but
what?
Those first two albums from Grave Diggers and Killer Army were real strong, bro.
I gotta listen to the first Grave Digger album again. That's the one with no hooks on there, right?
No. That's not their song. No Hooks was Shaq, Meth, and RZA. That's the song that had "There's Nowhere to Run To, Baby."
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's out.
All right, I gotta listen to that again.
6 Feet Deep is dope, and the second album, the Pick, the Gravel, and the Shovel.
Was it the Sickle? Is this a Shovel?
Yeah, the Pick, the Sickle, and the Shovel. That's
Shovel. Yeah.
But nah, both those albums were dope. But yeah, Silent Weapons with Quiet Wars and Dirty Weaponry. Now, Dirty Weaponry was like nothing but Fourth Disciple. But the first album was a little bit of RZA, a little bit of True Master, and the rest was Fourth Disciple because that was like their in-house producer.
I see that, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, man, we could go all night reminiscing about that era, man. But anyway, thanks for joining me tonight. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, Hip Hop Roundtable Reviews. Also, check out BLG, aka Bootleg Gang, on Facebook and also on YouTube. Definitely, we got a lot of great polls going up. What are you doing now? I saw.
So right now, I'm still doing the versus version of Rick Ross and
French
Montana.
That's
of
what
course,
I saw.
Killer Army versus Grave Diggers, what I just talked about. And DR Period, the producer that put MOP on, versus Lord Finesse from DITC.
That's a dope little. I like Lord Finesse too, man. That's a dope.
I'm on round 20.
Yeah.
I'm on round 20 of Nicki Minaj versus Missy. So it's 20A and 20B.
That's been going on for a while.
It's almost over. It's only just 2 rounds left, and I'm done with the Ants versus D double rivalry. Unless you're gonna talk to me again. But yeah, right now it's 33-5 Missy.
Oh God.
It was worse than I thought.
I still remember that.
I thought Nicki was gonna get at least 10, 12 rounds, but nah, it's 33-5.
That's a wash. Anyway, y'all, we're gonna come back with some new content later in the week. Thanks for joining us. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the hype button, and we will catch up with y'all later on the next pod. All right, peace.